very favorably from an investment destination standpoint. In fact, India is a joint second with Germany and UK as an investment destination when the global CEOs have been polled. US, of course, remains the top destination from that standpoint. I dare say that while Germany and UK have always been in developed markets have always been key contenders, the growth in India has been almost double. So the global CEOs who are saying that India is net positive has actually doubled over the last 1 year, and I think that's something that we should acknowledge. Again, I'll attribute it to the reform journey that we have had. I think the third one, clearly, there's a lot of work to be done, and that is acknowledged by the survey as well. When it comes to things like AI, I think the adoption of Indian CEOs has been a bit slow, has been a bit muted. There is certain anxiety that they have. 66% of them exhibited some amount of anxiety as to how they can create outcomes on AI. If you look at it globally, only 12% of global CEOs are saying that they actually got revenue and profit outcomes from AI. So it's an evolving space, and it's pretty young. But the Indian CEOs clearly seem a little bit more anxious about what it would mean for them, both from a demand generation standpoint and from a process standpoint in the years ahead. And let me just quickly talk about two more topics, and then we can come back. I think the first one really is when we look at trust, and I think that is a big thing because there has been this huge discussion 2 years back. Siddharth, you were sitting here and we were talking about sustainability and so on and so forth. I think how we can be more trustworthy and create more responsible organizations is coming through in many of the conversations. And a lot of Indian CEOs have felt that delivering the change at the pace at which the disruptions are coming to them will require embedding trust in everything that they do, including sustainability. So it is not gone out of the window. I mean, one of the questions that gets asked is that, is sustainability out of the window? It is not, but it certainly requires significant amount of trust building in the face of significant disruptions that are coming through. And I think the final one, as we see the India opportunity is clearly alive and kicking, but there are certain areas where clearly there is more work to be done. And two, which I will just reflect on, maybe we'll get the panelists as well, is one, enhancement of productivity, and the fact that we need to scale businesses and opportunities, not just do some sandbox experiments. So those are the five.
I'll come to you, and on the point of which is the single most important feature or factoid that you noticed from what Sanjeev told us? Is it AI, or is it the fact that Indian CEOs remain overall more bullish than their global counterparts? What would be the single highlight that you would want to speak about?
First of all, I agree with all the 5 trends. If I just put my business and myself into today's context, whatever the survey has found resonates. In terms of the couple of stats that Sanjeev quoted, I think what surprised me a little bit is 77% Indian CEOs saying India growing more in a single year. And I see a little bit of dichotomy there. And I think, let me just express at least my views on why that is happening. See, if you take a mid to long term view, of course, India is shining. The kind of fundamental macro factors that we have in India that no other country probably can match in terms of future growth, the opportunity which is coming, the labor arbitrage which will make manufacturing grow, the way digital stack has shaped up over the last few years, the way infrastructure has been created. All of that augurs very well for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. In fact, until 2 years back, when I was in Davos 2 years back, we were all saying that this is a decade, this is a century, this is whatever of India. While that long-term trend still stays, I think what is happening is in the short term, there's a lot of uncertainty. And that uncertainty is coming because of what is happening geopolitically. The trade war, of course, the deals which unfortunately got delayed. And that is creating a lot of doubt in everyone's mind. And if you top it up with what is happening in Europe right now, with the growth, the overcapacity in China, and US going in a different direction, that creates even more uncertainty in the minds of people. So if you put all of these two together, so on one side, all of us, I think, are very bullish about next 5, 10, 15 years because there's no other way things will pan out. But at the same time, in the short term, there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of volatility. And hence that 77%, if I take next 5, 10 years view, Sanjeev, I think it makes sense. But if I take 2026, 27, till the time there is a little bit more clarity on what is happening, the way FIIs are taking money out of the country, all of that creates some challenges and risks.
Challenges and risks. Gopal, come in on weigh in on this point, particularly the ability. I think that is very important. That despite everything that goes around the world, the refrain from an Indian CEO would be "Jo kuch ho."